Howdy, I'm Paul. Nice to see ya. You ever had any problem with heartburn? I used to. Sounds like an ad, doesn't it? It's not. So, at this point, maybe if there was an ad, you'd hear something like, watch this video and click the next video, and if you'll click this link and follow over to this website and give us a credit card payment, we'll give you our system that's guaranteed to work. And forget all that mess. It's apples. Apples fixed me. So we get right to the meat of what's going on here in this video. I just want to tell you about it because it's been a blessing to me, and I hope that it'll be a blessing to you. It does not work for everybody. I'll say that from the outset, but it does work for a lot of people that I've told. So I want to tell you about it, give you a little background on what happened to me many years ago in my 20s. I'm 50 now. Many years ago in my 20s, I found out that I'm not allowed to take a pack and a half of Rolaids a day. What? Yeah. So I was eating a pack and a half of Rolaids a day because that's how bad my chronic heartburn was. And my doctor found out, and they were like, no, you can't do that. And I think I was in my early 30s at that point, so chronic heartburn. I had to keep it at bay with Rolaids, Tums, whatever, antacids, over the counter. And so they found out, the doctor found out, and she put me on Zantac. And at first, one pill, solved. I thought, magic bullet, we have solved this, but I didn't know what I was doing. Of course, since then, we've heard about the cancer lawsuits against the manufacturers of Zantac and how that's going. So the problem isn't making acid. The problem is the acid escaping into your esophagus, and it can cause esophageal cancer. We've got to be careful with ourselves, right? That's not okay to have acid, stomach acid, eating away at the lining of your esophagus, because that is what happens. So the doctor puts me on Zantac, and at first it worked, and then I was like, yay, and then it kind of stopped, and I was like 2, and then 3, and then all of a sudden it was like 6 or 7 a day, and it wasn't working. Doctor's like, nope, can't do that. So let's put you on Protonix, which is the strongest class of proton pump inhibitor. Well, after a while, I started, doing my research and found out that old people that were taking the strongest class of proton pump inhibitors long term were breaking bones. And I went to my doctor and I was like, hey, this isn't good. I found out that if you take proton pump inhibitors long term, you're going to start breaking your bones because you're not extracting your calcium properly from your food. That's why we need our stomach acid, is to properly digest and extract the nutrients from the food. Like you need your calcium from the leafy greens, right? That's what we need to be eating. That's one thing we need to be eating. But I told the doctor that, and the doctor said, you're not old. And I'm thinking, yeah, but I want to get old, and you're trying to keep me on this medicine forever. So no. So I got myself a different doctor, thankfully, and that worked very well. And he was actually like, after I had found out about apples, I did my research, I started eating apples, and it was amazing. Like, basically, I had heartburn, I would eat an apple, and it would immediately solve it. The apple itself would push whatever acid was in my esophagus down. Now, that's not remarkable. Basically, anything you eat at that point is going to push it down, but it's still going to have a problem. But it fixed something in my stomach. I don't know why it works. I'm just glad it works, right? And so I would eat the apple, and it would solve it for a short time, but then it would come back, right? So eventually, well, at the beginning, rather, I was eating 3 apples a day. Yeah, it sounds like a lot, but eating it with meal, and it's food, It's natural, it's food, and it's not like I have to take this horse pill. Well, it is a horse pill, except for it's gigantic, and it's chewable, and it tastes good, and it's actual food. So it's a pretty amazing solution. So after that, it would start to be like, 2 apples a day, and then it was like an apple a day, and then it was just like an apple because they're good, and then it's just part of your diet, and all of a sudden I wasn't having to take anything anymore. Now, eventually, you forget, maybe you lay off of apples, you don't think about it, it's not like you think about it for medicine, it's just part of your diet, and if you forget, and certain things are going to trigger it. You need to figure out what triggers you. Tomato sauce, maybe. Bread, sugars do it to me. But you can eat an apple and solve it. Now, I'm not going to say I never eat Tums. We keep a bottle of, antacids at the house, a jar, whatever, a container of antacids at the house, and every once in a while I'll have to pop one because I don't, maybe I'll run out of apples or something, or maybe I'm full and I don't want to eat another apple, anything else. I don't want to eat an apple because I'm too full. Yeah, I'll be known to eat an antacid once in a while. I mean, like 2 or 3 times a year, and then if I'm lazy with my diet, more. But from a pack and a half a day to protonics to, no, just apples. Now, it doesn't work for everybody. When I've posted about it, I usually make a text post about this every once in a while because I know some people are going to benefit from it, but this works too. I know that sometimes my videos can get shared a bunch, and that's great. I'm actually a preacher. I'm a hymn writer and a digital evangelist. And by a preacher, I'm not a pulpit minister. I'm not like in one congregation where I'm the preacher, but I preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm a hymn writer. And sometimes my videos get scattered around, and that's pretty brilliant. So I'm hoping that this will do that. This will happen to this video, get shared around, and you will benefit from it. The last time I posted about it, last week, somebody came to me a message and like, what kind of apples was it? And were there any kind that were better than others? And they were just asking some general questions. And I told him it was any apple. I don't eat Granny Smith unless I'm like baking with them. But every other apple that I've ever tried worked. So just eat the apples that you like. I like a perfect golden delicious if you can get a good one. Believe it or not, if you can get a good red delicious, they're really amazing. And of course, Honey Crisp and Fuji's are great too. But any apple's going to work. So it is a long-term permanent solution. And yes, every time I bring it up, people are like, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, yeah, it actually does. Yes, you're right. And that's amazing. It's awesome. So just eat yourself an apple. Try it. This friend of mine, he actually just got some apples. And I think he gave me the report back that it's been a week and a half and he hasn't taken anything other than apples. It's just solved it for him, and I'm not surprised. I do know people that tell me it did not work for them, so just keep it in mind. And if it doesn't work for you, you're not going to get your money back from me, because you're not getting any money from me. I mean, I'm not getting any money from you. Yeah, I'm just telling you because I want to, because I think it's good. It's a blessing. God made these apples. I get to eat these apples, fix my stomach problem. Great. And then I'm just going to tell everybody about it. My name's Paul Mays. I'm a Christian. No prefix, no suffix, no substitution. I'm not a hyphenated Christian. I am the kind of Christian that you can read about in the Bible. The kind that was added to the one church belonging to Christ upon obedience to the one gospel of Jesus Christ. If you have questions about that, get with me. But this message is not about that. I'm just using the opportunity. I got your attention using these apples, and that's the reason for the message. The real good news is the gospel of Jesus Christ. So if you would like to learn more about that, you can click around and see what videos I've got. I'm a hymn writer. I write about Jesus Christ and salvation by his authority, the one church, and the way to live, and the way to be reconciled to God, and the way to live a life that's pleasing to God. So I hope this is beneficial to you. Thanks for listening. If you know somebody who's got heartburn, share it with them. What can it hurt to eat an apple and try and see? We'll see you soon.